How you doing? Uh, Not really sure if you can actually see me, but so I come up here tonight. I got my tarp and that all set up, and yeah, I was like set up for the night, and it's turned out to be a really blowy, windy night, and had a really good fire going for a couple of hours, and then the wind direction changed, and although I had like the tarp set up and the DD tarp, DD hammock and under blanket and that, I was actually just underneath in the camp bed area. I dropped the front of the tarp down just to give me a bit of wind protection. I was just sitting down in the camp bed area, and I just slightly dozed off, and just out, just something just made me think suddenly it was really bright, and woke up, had a look underneath the tarp, and literally the wind direction had changed, and the fire break forward like set alight. It literally never ever blows in that direction. It must have just swirled for some reason. The fire had just built up, and yeah, fire break wall, as you can see. I don't know if you can actually see this, but my fire break wall is like 2 layers thick on both sides, and there's layers across and between with pine cones, and like what they call like chinking, either with the cones or the pine needles, because obviously my camp is directly underneath, and yeah, the wind direction had just completely blown, and the fire break wall had just gone. Pine needles are gone. This side not too bad. The back side, the face and wind side, that's all right, but you can probably see here it's all blackened. And I suddenly woke up, I was like, shit, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just had to like quickly get myself together. I just had a slight doze without realising it. Never ever had an uncontrollable fire break away from me in over like 25, 30 years. So luckily I had my clean canteen and my TBS thermos flask, so I probably had, I don't know, 2 litres of water there, fuzzed that over it. In my storage area I had probably about 6 litres of water, and I just managed to throw that all over, and that was it. But because it was like two layers deep and that, it kept smouldering away, and I hadn't even concentrated on the fire area, and I was just like, man, what am I going to do? So yeah, I put a call out, and I've just had like really like someone special, like a good friend, like literally come up at 11 o'clock at night, and they've just brought me about 12 litres of water, and I've managed to get it all completely out. It's all out, nothing smouldering. I managed to sort the fire out just by gathering up loads of earth and loads of pine needles, and because that was still going a good one, and I just managed to like properly fill that in, because this is about 6 inches deep. So I just put loads of that on, smothered it, got that down, and yeah, it was still smouldering away, so I kept stamping on it, but obviously I had to be a bit careful, because obviously you like putting air back into it. But that's completely gone. I've just whacked all of this water, literally all of that water, over the fire, all the way across there. There's literally nothing there. I've been there about 10-15 minutes now, nothing else smouldering away. So, do you know what? Every now and again you've got to put up a post or a video or something like that where things get away from you. Doesn't matter how controlled you are, how good you are, how good you practice your craft and that, it doesn't matter. Sometimes things are going to go out of control. I may not have had maybe enough water here for an emergency like that. You know, if it had really got out of control, what would I have done? What do you call the fire brigade? Something like that. If it really in that time, I would have literally just pulled the fire break wall down just to stop it, because it's like raised up. I would have literally just pulled it all down just to reduce the height and the coverage area so the wind wasn't feeding it. What do you call the fire brigade? So yeah, in over 30 years, do you know what? I mean, in an area here, it wouldn't have actually caused too much damage to any trees or anything like that, because I'm at a pretty good area here. Yeah, there's some damage on there. That's all right. Obviously, I put a little post up on Facebook saying, you know, shit, things got out of control. Dad was immediately on the case. Are you okay? I'm all right, Dad. Phoned him up. before I was getting the water. Everything's okay. So where do we go from here? So yeah, it's a little bit damaged from here. What else am I going to do? This has made me really think that I need to keep more water up here, and yeah, definitely more water up here in the storage area. I'm going to dig out a little pit where I can store some big, you know, like 20 gallon drums or something like that, just as an emergency. Dig a pit, cover it over with corrugated iron so it's well out of sight and that, so it's literally just for my emergency purposes. Won't use it for water or cooking or anything like that. One of the other things I'm going to do, as I spoke to Dad, is I'm going to keep some sand here. Again, just in like, you know, like a fire bucket like you used to have at school or at work. So I'm going to keep some sand here, maybe some bags of sand. Again, out of sight, out of mind, just so I know where they are. Up in the wood over there, I've got another couple of corrugated tin sheets. So what I'm going to probably do, as I spoke to Dad, is we're going to cut the sheets down, the corrugated iron, and we're going to dig around in the earth. And I've seen my mate John Milthorpe, JSM Calder, on YouTube. He's like digging clay up and that to like do his log cabin at the moment. So I'm going to probably like dig up for some clay if we've got some here, and put that across the fire break wall. And then what we're going to do is, behind these supports and that, we're just going to cut 3 sections around, and we're going to just put the corrugated in there just as it sort of reflects the heat back. So, do you know what? It's a learning curve. You know, I'm 48 years old now. I've never had a fire get away from me. It's probably happened to loads of us. Some of us will be just like, oh, we just put up perfect pictures, things like that. No, do you know what? This has been a learning curve today. I've not kept enough water. I mean, yeah, I had some water here. It was enough to keep it under control. It was smouldering a bit. I could have dealt with it. But yeah, I just kind of really felt like I needed to get it properly out under control. So yeah, I've still had a brilliant time. It's been really, really good. I've had a few beers. Oh yeah, top tip for you. Top tip. When you're at camp overnight, always drink enough hot black coffee and have a few beers so that in an emergency you can still piss on your fire or piss on the fire break wall and help put that out. So yeah, that's a top tip. Survival 101. Drink black coffee, drink loads of beer so you've got enough humanly bodily function water to piss on your fire. So yeah, bit of a learning curve, bit of a learning experience. I'll learn from that. I'll adapt, I'll improvise, overcome. Clint Eastwood, Heartbreak Ridge, and yeah, I'm gonna remend this. I'll get this sorted out, and so yeah, not my normal kind of video. I don't know whether you can really see me, but there you go. So yeah, there you go. Bit of a fire, bit of an emergency, dealt with it, made a call. Luckily, I'm just not far out of town. Someone's come out, given me a shitload of water. If I didn't have that water, probably would have still been alright. It may have just smouldered for a bit. I would have literally just sat here all night and all morning until I knew it was okay. So, there you go. You learn. Little mistakes happen every now and again. Fuck, nothing happens in life is perfect. You know what? Mistakes happen. That was just a little doze. Caught it in, and yeah, I'm waffling now. That's the adrenaline. It's all out. I'm good. I've sorted the camp down. I'm going to break it all down, and I'm going now. So catch you later. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Bye.